important dealings today up in the greenhouse. Today is the day that I put the automatic opener on the door. Okay, it's a little bit warm in here. We'll have a look at the temperature, see what it is. There you go. 28 centigrade, 84. Oh, and the wildlife is incoming. Every time. Okay, so I'm going to put the automatic opener on, which means I need to take this off. So I'm going to put you up here and hope that you can see, because I can't see the screen. So the automatic opener goes on in spring and comes off around Halloween. Oops, nearly lost it. And it's just so I don't need to come in and play guesswork as to when hang on, got to figure out which way around it goes now. I don't have to play guesswork as to what temperature is, and do I need to go up to the greenhouse and then open the door and then do the window. Oh, I can't even get it on. Let's try again. I want to say it's this way around, but I've got a really bad feeling it isn't. I can't actually remember. Give me a moment. Okay, let's try again. Just undoing the screws a little bit so I can actually get it on. One of them I've just done a little bit too much, which was a little bit silly. There we go. So this has got a thermostat in it running along there, and when it gets to a certain temperature it'll automatically kick in the spring and open the window. But when it's not in use, I keep this in the fridge. So that is the automatic opener, which should be kicking in fairly soon. Should be. by the time I get out. Okay, so what have we got germinating in here? I've got my amethyst jewels. No blueberry tomato, but I do have beefsteak tomato. 2 of. Nothing from the Heinz. Now, you guys might be able to help me out. You might not. I have no idea what this one is. I don't know why there isn't a thingy in it. Same with this one. I don't know. Nothing from the Dancing with the Smurfs cherry tomatoes. I do have the American Blue. Whoops, sorry. And I do have the Ladybird, one of each, but nothing of the Black Prince. Oh, the Amethyst Jewel is tomatoes, not flower. I don't know why I said flower. I was thinking of jewels. And absolutely nothing of my Peter Pepper either. I do have some lavender coming through, which I'm very pleased about. I have something that I don't know what it is yet. Maybe I'll find out. My Pennisetum Scarlet Queen is coming through. My Lobelia Crystal Palace is coming through. My cat plant is definitely coming through. What I bought from the garden centre the other week. They're all nice and healthy, well watered, but they're not going in yet. My Salpiglossis, there's some growth. My Pampas grass has 2, but I don't know what it is. Henry Cecil Sweet Pea, there's some growth. My Wiltshire Ripple, Cleone Fountain, nothing of those. Corydalis Mackensis, another Lobelia Blue Splash. I do have some Mornia Vagata, which is an African, South African flower. Have I got anything up there? Yep. We have the Petunia, which is good. I can't see up there. But some good, some bad. But I am off to do another job, which technically is a form of gardening. Although it doesn't involve the garden, it actually involves the houseplants, and it's something that I do every year. So, I have a feeling I'm going to run out of compost, but plant care doesn't just mean outside in the garden, it also means in the house. So, I have all my houseplants here, and once a year I give them a top-up or a complete overhaul of their compost. Now, some of them only need a top-up, but it gives them some extra nutrients that they have lost over their growing time. And there's a big difference between houseplant compost and gardening compost. For houseplants, there tends to be a lot less organic matter in the compost, which means less rot. And it also means that you're less likely to have little bugs living on and in the soil. You know those little midgy flies and aphids, generally speaking, but you'll get far less by using houseplant compost than your everyday organic. So I've just topped one up. I'm going to top up this one now, and in a couple of the houseplants, and I wish I could get more of these, but finding them is really difficult. I have water indicators. Up there it tells you how wet the soil is and whether you need to water again. The bad thing is I have overwatered one of my plants, and I've got to be extremely careful. But I know that giving it some fresh compost and getting rid of some of the wet will help it a lot. So all I'm doing is literally just topping it up, and I'm going to take a couple of the dead off, but I'm not going to take all of them off. These are stressed leaves rather than dead leaves. It's where they're near the curtain on the windowsill, and the curtain keeps hitting them when I close it, so the plant gets stressed and it weakens the leaves. So I've taken most off. There's a couple still on, and by the looks of it, there's a bud in the bottom, and I can't really show you that because it's a little bit too far down. But that's one that goes in the kitchen. And another one that goes in the kitchen is the one that I've overwatered, and that's this one. This is supposed to be a succulent, so it's supposed to dry out, and I definitely haven't let it dry out. So a couple of its shoots have come off, and they look a little bit like jelly on the bottom. Thankfully it's got a couple of pups. Hopefully can rescue them, I hope. Another one. Are you wanting to go in, my love? But if I just see how bad it is, that's my own causing. That is rotting because it is way too wet. Way too wet. So I'm going to share some love, and I'm going to give some of its compost to another plant, one that likes the moisture. This is not good for people that want to be careful of their nails. There we go. It's really, really moist, overly moist. So I'm going to keep that at the bottom of the pot, but I am going to break it up first. I'm going to remove the roots that are clearly not part of the plant. And give some nice dry but nourishing. And hope that it will come back. If it doesn't, I've got the pups, and that's fine. But that's my own neglect of the plant. So another bag here. the darker the compost normally means the better it is, the richer it is, the more nutrients it can give the plants that it is going to be feeding. And as the soil dulls down, it's lost a lot of its nutrients. Apologies, I had to move because my knees had started hurting a little bit too much. Okay, so the last three are a little bit more complicated. I'll come to that one in a moment. When I say complicated, it's not complicated. So each of these needs to have most of the compost removed, because these were bought in a garden centre as houseplants, but they have very organic compost. So I'm very gently, I know you can't see that, very gently just trying to remove a good deal, not all, but a good deal of the compost that surrounds it. And then it will go back in this pot for now, because I don't think another pot will be suitable for it yet. But brand new compost, just put a little bit in the bottom of the pot to start with, just an inch or so roughly, so that when I go like that, all the loose comes out. Put the plant back in and then top it off with the houseplant compost mix, pushing it down to remove any airspace, giving it a little bit of a pat again to remove air pockets. Top it up again. And even though a lot of this compost is going on the ground right now, it's not going to get wasted. Got a special dustpan and brush that I'll go around and grab it all with. And it'll get reused in the greenhouse, mixed in with proper compost. So that one is now done and can go back in the bedroom. This one needs exactly the same. So very gently with hand spread in, upside down, give the pot a couple of squeezes, and remove now. With this being a fern, it does like moist soil, and if I show you, it holds onto it really well. But I don't want the little bugs, it doesn't want the little bugs, so as best I can, just very gently, and I can't do much with this because it's very very rooted, but get rid of most of it. That's what's left. Just put the special little cord back in, because this is a self-watering. And then in the bottom, again, just put some in the bottom. Just enough. A little bit more, not much, just about an inch. And then we'll put this back in. Now this has got a couple of new growth bits, which is nice. You can see a couple of the little bits coming through, and they're a different colour because of the type of fern this is. I'll just give that a push down. Beanie's chasing butterflies. She's having her time in the garden. So that's the soil that I'm using right now, which isn't ideal, I'll say that, but I'm using it up. Because I was very lucky when I grabbed it. It was buy one get one free, and a special offer in it as well. So I'm just pushing the fern down, giving it a little bit more. And I apologise if you can hear the bin men. They're very noisy, we all know that. So, giving it a push. So I now know it needs a little bit more on one side. And then that one is done. Now, the semi-complicated one, which isn't complicated at all. You may have seen the other week when I bought a new houseplant. So, no idea what this is. Phlebodium, maybe? Only a little pot. So we need to give it some room. So I've got a bigger pot for it. So it's upscaling from this to this. So like I've done with the rest, I am very gently just removing the loose. Holds on to a lot of water. Now you don't want to go ripping through the roots, but you can loosen them a little bit. If you're transplanting garden plants or house plants, doesn't matter which, if you're going from one thing to a bigger thing and you've got lots and lots of roots, you want to try and spread them a little bit, otherwise they will stay in the pot form and you'll end up with stunted growth. So just very gently teasing out some of the roots, trying to be as careful as I can. And then I happy with that. So now we need to put a lot in this one. So this one's almost filled because this is going practically straight in. Because the roots are fairly shallow on this, and top it up as I did with the others. Hopefully it'll be a lot happier now it's in a little bit more space, as long as it doesn't buy any more furniture, which should be good till next year, I hope. Push it down, give it a top up, and that is that one, and that is now ready for the living room. So, got my hands dirty, I've got the plants in the house happy, plants in the greenhouse should be happy now because they can get some air, blow away the winter cobwebs. Possibly Beanie might be happy because I can let her do her sunbathing now. And I have got a lot of compost to clean up, but that's okay because I'm happy to do so. So here's the new growth. There's another one over here. Ferny type thing. Parsley for the kitchen. And if we look over here, wildlife. See you next time. Bye bye.